Hey gang, Todd here, and we have our penultimate episode for the season, in which we have a musical. Much like last season's fairy tale episode, this one is a complete fantasy. It opens with a quantum probability field that they've discovered, and they're doing experiments with it. Spock and Uhura, and also Captain Kirk has come aboard for a visit with his brother Sam, which is causing Luann some problems. She's still very attracted to the Kirk who does not exist anymore. And she sees some of that in this Kirk, and giving her some trouble. Also, Chapel is gotten some good news. She won a fellowship, which means she's going to be leaving. And she doesn't know how to tell Spock. So, sending different communications into the field sends nothing back. I believe they're trying to communicate with it. This is something they've discovered. And Pela suggests music. Harmonics might be the thing that gets a response. You can try to communicate with someone or something, but if you don't have any knowledge of what they consider language, and they don't understand what you consider language, harmonics could be a nice, middle field to start with. So Uhura pulls up a song from the Great American Songbook, and they send that in, and there is a huge wave that comes off of it and engulfs the Enterprise. And everyone starts singing. And this kind of freaks everyone out. They don't know why they're singing. And after they do their big number, Pike pulls everyone into the ready room, and they discuss and look around and decide that they should fire some photon torpedoes into it, because it's basically spreading open like a zipper. Well, no, first they see if they can pull the zipper closed by using harmonics. So Spock and Uhura, they figure something out. They have to reconfigure some of the things in the Jeffrey tubes, which leads Kirk and Una to have a duet about how you treat your crew, because he's now a lieutenant. He's hoping to make second in command, and he's first officer now, and he's hoping to be captain someday, and he's not sure to be standoffish, all business, or get to know them personally. And so they have a nice little duet with a dance, which is seen by Leanne. She goes to her quarters, and in the showstopper, my opinion, Luann sings a song about pining, love, not being one to take chances, wanting to take chances, and it's just emotionally heartwarming. And it's probably the performance of the show. Of course, the actress, Christina Chong, she had just recently released her debut EP, Twin Flames. She is a professional singer as well as actress. And anyway, they configure everything, and they send the signal through, and an even bigger wave comes through, And now it's spreading throughout Starfleet because Pike gets a what do you call it? A hail from his girlfriend, Captain Batal, and he puts it on the big view screen in front of everyone, and then they start singing about the problems in their relationship. Both of them. So, second idea, sends a photon torpedoes in to blow it up. But first, they need to do an experiment to see if they even can. They don't even know what the backlash from this will be. So, Kirk and Leanne, with a lot of chemistry going in between them, teleport some of the isotopes from the field to the transporter and then to the engineering lab where Spock's going to do the experiment. And the experiment blows up the lab. And extrapolating the information, if they fired photon torpedoes into the field, it would blow up the field and it would spread this anomaly not only throughout the rest of Starfleet, but the Klingon Empire as well. So they're going to have to work on a way to shut it down some other way. Also, Kirk gets a hail from a Klingon ship. Apparently it has started to affect Klingons, and there are several that are on their way to fire their weapons into the anomaly and blow it up, and they're not going to listen to anything about how dangerous that'll be. This has caused a great dishonor among them. Well, Kirk and Leanne finally have a talk, and she explains everything to him, even though she wasn't supposed to tell anybody about this other timeline. And unfortunately, with a throwback to Wrath of Khan, Kirk is in an on-again, off-again relationship with a a scientist named Carol, and she's pregnant. Oh. And Uhura and Spock are looking to get some readings from when people sing. So they've got to find someone who's about to sing. And Leanne has informed everyone that earlier that it's a security risk because emotions are the trigger. Hence the whole thing with Pike. And so they've got to find someone who's having a very emotional episode and get them to sing, which just happens to be Chapel, who is celebrating with Ortiz and Sam Kirk. And Spock comes up, asks what they're celebrating, and he already infers that it was the fact that she got the fellowship, and asks why she didn't tell him. And in a big song, she talks about how she's going to go away, she's looking forward to this, she's going to be free, and Spock is crushed. Uhura gets the readings, and when she gets to engineering, start analyzing them. Spock talks about how he is, or sings about how he is an X. He was digging into his human side and experiencing emotions, and now that he's been basically dumped, he sings about wanting to shut those things off and just be a Vulcan with logic. Oh, second heartbreaking. Well, Uhura finds that they can't get a harmonic that can dissipate it, but when people sing, the feedback into the probability field raises its level. If they can hit a specific level, it will basically implode itself. They will need everyone on board to sing. So, Pike has Uhura address the crew. He feels she's the one who can bring them all together. He always trusts his crew. That's what we like about him. And Uhura does, and she starts singing, and everybody starts joining in, and the level keeps going up, 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 up. I mean, everybody is. Kirk is wailing away. They're all just going for it, and they can't quite hit the level. And then the Klingons, at this point, they've arrived, and they're hailing the Enterprise. And in the funniest moment, they're brought up on screen, and they're singing a hip-hop number on the Klingon ship. And then when Spock finally joins in, that's just enough, and it implodes. And everything's back to normal. In the aftermath, Spock is not talking to Nurse Chapel at all. He's just avoiding, and when he can't, he ignores. Anne is a little heartbroken, but a pep talk from Una. She realizes that, yeah, it's painful, but that's no reason to give up. And ironically, while it broke up Chapel and Spock, it actually brought Pike and Batel closer together, as they're now talking about the things they keep hiding from each other. So, all in all, pretty good episode. Pretty funny. I still prefer the Below Decks and the one where Spock went human a little better than this one. But it was a good one. And I like the scene with Luann and Kirk where he lets her down as gently as he can. And you could tell he cares for her and doesn't want to hurt her, but these things have happened and he's not that person, and maybe he has some of those attributes, but he is already involved, and oh gosh, it's just emotionally ringing. And the thing with Spock, but it does give us a hint into why he is the way he is in the original series. He's just cut all of that off. He can't handle it. And of course, I love that they've included the throwback to Wrath of Khan, Carol, and their son David. Although that's also heartrending because we know at Star Trek 3, Search for Spock, David's going to get killed by a Klingon, which is going to then cause problems in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, when the Klingons have to ask for help and Kirk is sent as an envoy. So yeah, they're bringing a lot of the canon into this. But a pretty good episode. Not as laugh out loud funny as I thought it would be. It's a little more emotional than that, which I think is for the better. Because 3 highly comedic episodes within a month and a half, because they're like every other, is just a little too much. So this is kind of a nice compromise between the two. So yeah, really good episode. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And next week is the season closer. So we'll have to see what that's all about. See you next time.